Friends, our Honorable PM extols us to eschew the culture of Revdi or distribution of free gifts to people, and rightly so. Of course, we all need to defeat the freebie culture or the Revdi thinking. This is as it should be. However, what is the difference between Revdi and kalyan, or between freebies and welfare? The debate seems to be exercising even the top court with general elections round the corner. The Supreme Court bench, headed by Chief Justice of India in the past, constituted a bench to review the 2013 judgment, which had held that the promise of benefits made by political parties in election manifestos, even if they are construed as freebies, cannot be said to be of a corrupt practice. Now, this raises some questions. First, what would have been the wisdom of the Supreme Court in 2013 when it accepted freebies as not an unfair practice? Second, what could be the wisdom of the Supreme Court in 2022, a decade later, that it would want to relook at the decision? Should all political parties review the freebie culture as probably the Supreme Court wants? Should the Supreme Court review the decision that lies in the exclusive domain of the executive? Has the Election Commission failed to exercise its prerogative to decide? Friends, let's look at some of these and some similar questions this Saturday. With the political parties constantly innovating in their offerings, the losing side is prone to contest. Certainly freebies can skew the game. What percentage of fairness is skewed due to freebies? Can we really make an estimate of that? How is accountability of political parties measured? If all political parties were to do the same thing, would not the economics suffer of the nation? Freebies are given free of charge. Forget complaining. No one would even resist a bargain or a freebie. In practice, something given or gotten free of charge as a complimentary movie ticket or a free handout is a freebie, whereas welfare refers to a variety of government programs that provide financial or other aid to individuals or groups who cannot support themselves. The welfare programs mostly funded by taxpayers must support the poor, developmentally challenged, and disadvantaged groups. They must allow such people to cope with financial stress during rough periods of their lives. The goals of welfare schemes must promote the pursuance of work, education, or in some instances a better standard of living. They must promote health, they must promote happiness, and they must allow such people to cope with financial stress during the rough periods of their lives. The goals of welfare schemes must promote the pursuance of work, education, or in some instances a better standard of living. Now, they must promote health, they must promote happiness and fortunes of a person or group of persons or group of people, their well-being, comfort, security, safety, protection, and ultimately their prosperity. Two important points emerge here. That the people who receive such benefits must be poor, developmentally challenged, and belong to disadvantaged groups, and that such benefits must be essential for living. If it is so, then they must be called welfare schemes. Else, They become freebies. What is essential to living? We all need for survival sunlight, water, air, habitat, and food to eat. Sunlight is free and in abundance. Water is not so abundant and is rationed in some places and available at a price in many other places. Real estate is held by the government or by private entities. Hence, habitat always comes at a price. Food is produced in abundance. However, its production is subsidized and hence that cost has to be recovered. Now, within the society, like there are able-bodied and weak. There are those who can pay a price and those who cannot, for the essentials. Those who cannot pay must be helped. It is also necessary that everyone in the country must be adequately skilled and must have means to earn money required for those essentials. If a nation defaults in providing a means to earn for everyone, then it must provide for them through welfare schemes. Obviously, eligibility for benefits must be based on a number of factors, including income levels and family size. Anything that is not essential to living will have to be termed a freebie, even if it is given to poor, developmentally challenged, and those belonging to disadvantaged groups. If the poor don't need it to survive, then it's a freebie. The directive principles of state policies aim to create social and economic conditions under which the citizens can lead a good life. Further, they aim to establish social and economic democracy through a welfare state. The public distribution system, free COVID vaccine, and Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, Manrega, midday meal scheme, rupees 2 per kg rice in Andhra Pradesh, that later became the National Food Security Program, Raitu Bandhu of Telangana, and Kalyan of Odisha, that became the Kisan Samman Nidhi, have all been seen to be within the boundaries of the DPSP. However, does giving away free TVs, free bicycles, and free electricity, or anything else free, constitute welfare? It is worse when some states announce free fans, free mixers, and free grinders for those with ration cards, completely violating the DPs. One must remember that a DP or the directive principle are not enforceable as a right. If the spirit of DP is stretched to win elections, why blame the political parties? The question is, what were the election watchdogs doing? The Election Commission of India must enforce the Model Code of Conduct for guidance of political parties, and candidates must regulate election manifestos. Should they not prevent the manipulation of voter behavior? Such profligacy can only lead to a drain on public spending and destroy the fiscal balance, which is very, very serious. There won't be any money left for development. It cannot be Revdi for some and disaster for others. What does the state do then? It may overcharge industrial and commercial contracts in order to maintain the internal fiscal balance. This may slow the industrial growth and induce commercial price hikes. freebies must be understood from an economic perspective and connected to the taxpayers' money. Do freebies not violate constitutional provisions of the Article 14, 266(3) and 282 of the Constitution? Are these freebies not akin to bribery and unduly influence the voters, prohibited under the IPC? The freebie economy is actually not sustainable. There is nothing like a free lunch. Today's promises include free college, free healthcare, free part-time off, free houses, and even cash directly deposited into one's account. Why and when can one gift? Only when there is what is to be gifted is in abundance. Do governments have everything in abundance? One has to create wealth before one can exchange it or give it away. As long as there is a mismatch, gifts only tend to expand the economic imbalance in a society. A slow deterioration can implode a democracy from within. Friends, I have given you a lot to think upon. Hope you will exercise your discretion to understand the difference between Revdi and kalyan. With that, let me end this Saturday's episode with a promise to be back the next Saturday with another interesting episode. Until then, thank you, Dhanyavad, and Namaskar.